Hello, once again, and thank you for tuning in to Mish's Plant Journey. Today, I'm going to deal with this wonderful spider plant. This is a combination of two plants, two or three. I've had it for quite a while. And looking at it, it just looks like it just needs some work done on it. It's time for me to go ahead and work on it. Now, spider plants are very hardy. They're very, I call them hungry. You have to keep watch over them. Don't let a week go by because I don't know what dirt. Dirt will do the same as leca. And what I'm getting at is they suck up nutrient. And they drink up the liquid nutrient that I provide for it constantly. And when I tell you, you better keep a watchful eye. It's real serious because, spider plants, they give off these shoots and which have babies attached to them. This one, I have cut off most of the babies or pups. There are different names for them. And all that's left on here is this little one. And so I tend to leave the smallest ones on to give them a chance to get bigger. I've had some seriously big spider plant pups. They were so big, they looked like a mother plant of them, all their own. And I would go ahead and put them in water, get the roots going at the bottom here, and start new plants. So I've had so many spider plants that I've given them away. I've given them away as presents, and I was so happy that I was able to do that. And so now what I'm doing is checking to see where is the water level, and I got a feeling it's probably dry as a bone. Well, not this time. But look at the roots on this one. Ooh, nice, thick and white and strong, healthy. This plant has been nourished by General Hydroponics, ever since I propagated it some years ago. However, what I've done, then we're going to look in here before I go any further to see is there anything in there. Just a little bit. I caught it before it dried up altogether because usually there's nothing in there. Just dry as it can be. But there's a little bit left. And I tend to almost fill this vase up halfway. Pot. I don't know what you might want to call this, a pot or a vase. This is a vase that I got when I went to Target to get some amaryllis. And this came with it and everything you needed to grow the amaryllis bulbs. However, my focus today is to see if I can separate these spider plants, because from my count that I have right here, there's one right there. I don't know if you can see it. Well, there's about four. There are four plants in the same, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 of them. And they're just not looking so happy as far as I'm concerned. So what I'm going to do today, finally, after all the wondering what I'm going to do and putting it off and speculating, making a plan and thinking maybe I should and not sure if I would, I'm just going to go ahead and separate this today. That's what I would normally do. And since this is a Saturday and it's snowing outside, what a great day to try this. Now this is going to be challenging. It's going to be challenging because all of 4 of these plants are, I think they're meld together, but you can cut plants apart. But my biggest challenge here is getting this plastic off of it. They started out sitting inside here so that they will be sturdy enough. Oh, I just had a thought. You know what I'm going to do is take my soldering iron and cut them off like that. Get the top part, because I'm pretty sure this knife is not going to do the trick. This knife is not going to be able to handle it, most likely. So, no sense in being silly that way. I am going to try some more of my cutters that I have and see if they'll work. And I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I did find some other cutters that might help me out a little bit here. I also have my handy dandy soldering iron. I love this soldering iron. My husband bought this for me, and I have just trying to find some things that to solder. And it does a great job. This soldering iron, as a matter of fact, it has on and off. The one I had before, which burnt out, I guess, it outlived this usefulness. Whatever happened, it just stopped working. But it would come on as soon as you plug it in. I like this one better. I like this one better because there's an on and off switch. You push this down, turn it off, push it up, turn it on, and then it has settings on it. I really like it. This is the makeshift can that I set it into. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, this is what I do. I can lay it crosswise like that until I'm ready to use it. Isn't it pretty cool? Me and my husband came up with that notion during COVID. We were at home making things, doing things, and I was like, I need something to set this soldering iron down on, for safety purposes. All right, so now these cutters is what I call them. I'm sure there's another name for them, but these are a bit stronger. And let's see, I'm going to cut around as much as I can. And I guess I'm going to cut the middle because these don't work on the bottom. And I tell you, I should have separated this a long time ago. But there's no time like the present, right? And, wow. I just had no idea that the roots were going to get this big and thick. I've never seen roots this big and beautiful on plants that were in dirt. And I'm sure that there are some in the world that just haven't been mine. But I've had some wonderfully healthy, beautiful spider plants. And I have one up in my living room that I'm going to take out of the dirt and transfer it over to leca. Yeah, this is a job. Calls for a little strength and some determination, but I am determined to get this out of here. Now, I'm trying to be careful of the roots. Yeah, you don't want to damage the roots if at all possible. You want to keep your roots in good condition. But it's okay if they're little roots, the little dark roots, little skinny, spiny ones on this type of plant. If you cut through those or if they come off, because I have some really strong, vibrant roots on these several spider plants that's in here. And I tell you, I've been meaning to do this for years. Because I don't like how they're looking. They don't look perky enough. The leaves are like drooping. And I think this is a classic example of the need for repotting. You want to repot your plants when they get to this point, I would say. And this top part up here is been holding them together real good, but it's time for us to do some updating, right? And when I tell you this is taking a lot of elbow grease, it is true. So now I'm going to go ahead and resort to my soldering iron. Okay? I'm just gonna, yep, since this is plastic, I definitely want to be careful not to burn the roots. So, and what I love about the soldering iron is you don't have to apply too much pressure. So I'm just pushing down on the slightly and letting it burn just the plastic and not the roots. Want to be careful of those roots. And I think this is one. This is one of the reasons why it took me so long to go ahead and get at this plant, because I knew it was going to be a job when I wasn't able to just pull the plants through, because the bottom part. Let's show you the bottom part. I'm gonna have to solder through the bottom part, no doubt. I'm gonna have to solder through the bottom part. Let's see what's down here. See all that? I'm gonna have to get through that. So what I'm gonna do is work on this and come back and I'll show you the plants that we have, and we're gonna, if I have to, we're gonna cut them apart, pull them apart, whatever it requires. But we're gonna get these pulled apart and reposition them in a different way, different pots perhaps. So I'll be right back, and we'll see the result of this tearing apart. Okay, so now that what's happening? There we go. Now that I've gotten all of this loose from these spider plants, you can probably see better now that there's how many? 1, 2, 3. There's like 4 plants in here milled together. 4 of them milled together. Here we go. And so now, and look at these big, beautiful roots. I don't know why that excites me so, but it's just a beautiful thing. It's beautiful. So what I'm going to do first is to loosen up the roots here at the bottom. Try to get them all straightened out so we can, whichever roots go with what plant, or they'll be, straightened out. Because I'm going to try wiggling these apart, getting them pulled apart. And if that don't work, then I'm just going to take the knife and cut through them. And I feel confident of doing that because of these big, beautiful, gorgeous, strong roots, And that's where, once again, my, I swear by that Super Thrive. That's where it comes in handy. So now that I'm working with a different plant altogether, I've used this knife just previously on my monstera to cut some stems off. So I am going to clean it off with some alcohol. Always sterilize in between plants. Even if you know that the plant is not infected, it's just a good practice. I don't think there's anything wrong with this plant that is infected, but it's a great habit. You want to keep that habit up of cleaning off your utensils when you're going from one plant to the other. As a matter of fact, this needs to get cleaned off as well. I'm just going to clean it off, even though I'm still working with this plant. Just, it's a good practice. Doesn't hurt. If anything, it helps. Okay, so I'm going to do a little more pulling and tugging to try to release these, to get these to, to separate them. And patience is the key word right now. Patience, patience, patience. And just keep, because I can feel them giving way. It's possible that I might not have to even use the knife. But like I said, if I do have to, it's not going to kill the plants, because they have enough big, strong, viable roots to come back from the trauma, because they are going through trauma at this point from what I'm having to do. It is absolutely traumatic. And that's why, once again, I'm glad that I have Super Thrive to help it snap back. Because I tell you what, I have a rubber tree plant that was just, the leaves were just drooping. And I thought I was doing everything I was supposed to be doing for this plant. You know, the leaves were good. They looked good as far as the color. There was no blackness or, you know, indication that it was sick or whatever the word is I'm trying to think of. But the leaves were drooping, and I know they're not supposed to be going in the downward direction. Rubber tree plant leaves should be upward. And so and this plant was in leca. So I dumped the leca out. I rinsed the leca off, which is one of the requirements of leca, especially when you see the white deposits on the leca, the clay balls. It's an indication that it's time for them to get cleaned off. There's my grandbaby looking in the window at me. And I'm still doing the video, sweetheart. Can I see you? Grandma see you, but right now, there she is. I'll be with you after a little while, sweetheart. Grandma's working on her spider plant right now, doing the video. We're going to do a video together a little later, okay? All right. Now, this is what I use to bring the water up to the plant. This is commonly used in in leca. Plants that are in leca, you use these to look how these roots grow. These roots grow in here. You use this, I don't know what you call it, twine or rope. It looks like rope. And you put it through the bottom holes. When this was a whole unit, the bottom part right here is where this rope would go into the holes down here, and it would draw up the water or the fluid in the bottom of your pot to give the nutrients, to give the plants the nutrients that it needs. So I'm sure there are people out here in YouTube world who knows the name of what I'm trying to say, but so now I decided to I'm turning the plant around where I can work at it at a different angle. And I don't think the three of these are going to come apart so easily. So now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going in with the knife, and I'm just going to start at the top. And I'm just going to separate these. Cut down. Okay, so here's one. That's what it looks like. It has plenty of strong, healthy roots to keep moving, living after we do this. So I'm just confident that it's going to be okay. And I'm going to go ahead and cut in between, down the middle of these two. Actually, now at this point, I just might leave these all together. That's not going to take up too much space, but I do believe that it's going to be beneficial to this plant because look like the major roots are on one of the plants, and with the two plants together, it's two or three, the three plants together, they'll probably live a better life. It'll probably be better for them to stay together. But that's another demonstration of another way of propagating. I have just propagated these spider plants, which were in desperate need of it because their leaves are just drooping. I have a spider plant. I got to find it. It's what I use for my icon for this channel. It's a beautiful spider plant that was a baby, and I've been nurturing it after I cut it off of its mama, and it's been in the same container and just doing so well. It's not even in leca yet, and the roots have just doing the same thing as this doing, but the leaves are perky. They're a lot more perky. These leaves are droopy. So I think when they get in a different environment, and they're not pot bound like they were before I took them out of here. And also, did you know that you can actually cut roots down? You know, super long roots can actually be cut down, and that does actually help them to grow. So I'm going to get some cutters that are sharper than those. These cutters are designed for outside more than anything. They're designed for thick um, stems and whatnot, and more hardy or hardened off plants. And so yeah, I'm glad you had a chance. I'm glad I had a chance to demonstrate um, propagating on another spider plant, and so that you can see that all you have to do is what I did. And now what I'm going to do from this point is I'm going to put these in some Super Thrive, because they have definitely undergone shock. They've undergone shock from being exposed like this, and me having to cut them apart, and all the things that I've done to propagate. But they'll be okay. I'm going to set these in some Super Thrive, and Super Thrive is what they've been living off of for most of their lives. You can add Super Thrive as an additive to your nutrient. And I have a nutrient solution I use for these, which is the 2-2-2. And what I mean by that is 2 parts Flora Micro, 2 parts Flora Bloom, 2 parts Flora Grow. And there are different uh, formulas that you can make up for your plants. For instance, if when this right here, when these get roots on them very well, like this one is starting to get some new roots. Look at the little beautiful little white roots coming out of here. And I've only had these in water for 2 weeks, just going on 2 weeks now. But I like the roots to get long, at least 2 to 3 inches long, before I, put them in whatever medium I'm going to use, which most likely is going to be leca. I like for the roots to grow longer, but they're Super Thrive in here. Okay. And so I'm going to take care of putting these in. I got to find a jar. Most likely I have plenty of jars around the house. I'm going to put some Super Thrive in there and just set these in the drawer for the time, in the jar for the time being, so that I can find a suitable new home for these plants. I have so many. I'm going to have to make up something, or probably go to the store and find another vessel to put these propagated plants, spider plants in. Or I just might find somebody who might want some spider plants and give these to them, and let them and love their life with the spider plants. And I'm going to take off, I don't know if you can see, but I'm taking off these really small, dark, what I call dead roots. And I know this looks like dirt, but it's not dirt. It is not dirt. It looks like dirt in here, because when you have plants in leca, you wash away all traces of dirt to the best of your ability. What this is are old roots. These are little old roots. The dark part is old root. It's not dirt. Now this is what you would do. I'm going to do a video showing how you transfer a plant from out of a dirt substrate and transfer it to leca. And it's going to look like this, because this looks like dirt, but I'm guarantee you it's not dirt. Anyway, thank you again for, if you have any questions, and please feel free to comment. I'm open to any suggestions and questions, and hopefully I can add and help you with your plant journey. Don't forget to subscribe and click on the like button if you like what you learned today. And until then, and also I have put a description links down in the description box about the general hydroponics, the stress coat, and super thrive. And no, I am not being sponsored. My channel is brand new. I don't have that many views, as you can see, so no, I'm not being sponsored. But my goal here is to help young plant enthusiasts such as myself, with their journey. Mostly, more than anything, that's what I'm here to do. Um, Too many of my friends have said, "Why don't you just make some videos? You're always talking about your plants, and you're really good. You do a great job. Just what else are you doing?" And I was like, "You know what? What else am I doing?" So, with no further ado, I wish you a great day. Happy planting, and until next time, bye bye.